Okay, so we were talking today about getting some more flexibility in the hip flexors, but the hip flexors also include the quads, because you got 4 muscles here in the leg that starts below the knee, and then 3 of them attach up here, and then 1 attaches even higher, which helps to bring the leg up. Plus you have the deep hip flexors. And so the first thing we were talking about doing is just bringing the foot up like this. Now some people, what they'll do is they'll have the knee all the way out here or out here, but if you want to get it as direct as possible, you want the knee facing the floor first, the heel to the rear end, and then you can kind of take it backwards like this, but don't tip over because you're going to lose some of the stress on the stretch. So you want to actually kind of lean back a little bit while you're pulling that leg back, and then that'll accentuate that position you were talking about on the horse. So that's what brought the whole conversation. So if you can get this back here, lean back, pull up, and of course you're only limited by how long you can hold it. So I showed you another thing you do on a table, so I'll show you what I got in here. So in here I kind of got this. It's, you know, I mean, I got a table in here somewhere, but if you could find a table or something semi-sturdy that you can get your foot up on, kind of like this. And so now I've got that foot there, so I don't have to worry about my hand holding it. I don't have to worry about balance too much, but at least I can grab hold of this. But the same thing, true, is you want that knee facing the floor or back a little bit. But here I can actually pull back and I can get more of a stretch across here. And anyway, so that's kind of forcible for me, but it works. Okay, and then next on that big table we've got, I have you put your foot up on that and then just lean forward. And as you lean forward like this, you want to try to keep the heel flat if you can. Sometimes it will come up, depends on how much flexibility you've got right down in here. But if you do this and then kind of sit your rear end or your hips straight down, you're going to feel on the straighter leg, you're going to feel a little bit of a stretch right in the front of the hip. And of course, if you lean back, you'll feel it a little bit more. So that's one way of doing it, you know. And then I showed you the other way was to, you know, just use some dumbbells or something. But basically what that would do is that would still get you in the same position, but now you've got this weight pulling you straight down, because that's how gravity's going to pull you. So I feel this a lot on my left side in the front of the hip. And so that was with a bigger surface. Now you don't have to go as high as that. You can go something a little lower as far as that goes. But you just got the leg back and you're just dipping down. And you want to try to, with these kind of things, you want to try to keep the back knee off of the floor. Then again, you can lean back and you'll feel it a lot more right straight down in front of the hip here. And then there was the lunge that I showed you right off the bat, which was just coming down as far as you can with the knee on the floor. And what you're doing is just sinking forward, and then you'll feel it right here in the front of the hip. Now, if you rotate it this way, you're going to feel a little differently than if you rotate it this way. When you go in this direction, it tends to let go a little bit. So when you do this, you can keep it straight, or you can go to the opposite side of the straight leg or straighter leg. And then if you want, you can push down on this knee and lean back. Those are all things so you can feel it a little bit more. And then one of the other things we did, actually I didn't have this at the clinic. This is like a half noodle thing. It's like a big piece of foam, but essentially I'm just on the knees and I can sit back like this. Now if I lean back, I'm going to get a bigger stretch, and then I can come straight up to here. When I do that, it becomes a strengthening exercise for the quads and a flexibility exercise as I go back. And so that would be a great exercise too. And again, this is still the same position when you're riding, at least that's what I think. Yeah, and then we did talk about just kind of doing this as an exercise itself, you know, holding on to something, getting in that position like you are on the horse, and then just kind of leaning back. So you can take the knees forward, kind of go back like that. And again, I'm just holding on to something so I don't drop. But this is kind of similar to that one where I went all the way down to the floor and back up. And that would be a combination of strength and hip flexor stretch. This is the one where I was trying to show you with the strap in there that wasn't working, but basically it's just, this is actually a flexibility strap. You can get them at Walmart, Amazon, but essentially I'm just kind of leaning back, and I can use my fingertips to either make sure I don't fall backwards, or I can just kind of lean back like this. Got to get in the right spot. And then come back up. This is the one I said I thought for sure I was only 2 inches off the floor, but obviously I'm not. Okay, here's one we didn't talk about, but using that same strap, I put it around the front of my foot, and I'm using the opposite hand or opposite arm to pull that foot towards my knee or my hips. Now if I pull harder, I can lift up. Then I feel a big stretch on that, but it's bigger than I can do when I'm just standing up. Now will that help? Don't know, but it's another alternative. That's probably as many of the things that we talked about, I think, and but plenty to get started with. Now you could do all of these, you could do some of these. That's kind of up to you. I can't tell you which ones would work the best for you. I like doing all of them. Sometimes I'll do them all at one time, sometimes I'll space them out. The thing is, the more you do it, the more consistent you are, like anything else, the better you're going to get at it. So how many reps, how long do you hold it? I usually do it for about 5 reps on each stretch. I usually hold about 15 seconds. Now some studies say you should hold it for 30 seconds, some say 60. You're still going to get results out of 10 or 15. Holding it for 30 to 60 seconds becomes extremely irritating, or at least to my body. So if I can get the same results out of 10 or 15 seconds and doing it more often and doing more sets, that's more comfortable to me. But again, that's me, and if you want to do more, you can. You might get sore just because it's a different exercise, and you might be moving where you haven't been in a while. But hopefully that might be something that'll get you to where you can put yourself exactly where your trainer wants you to be in the saddle. Anyway, if you have any questions, let me know.